everybody. Hope everybody's well. We're getting ready to get back on the courts at Overbrook, and we just wanted to go over some steps on how to play safely at Overbrook, what to bring before you leave your house to come and play at Overbrook, because some things are going to be a little bit different. We're focusing today on how to play safely. Singles is the only thing we're encouraging at the moment. Hopefully later in the summer we can get to some doubles. But we're going to take you through how to effectively play singles socially distant, and we'll start with safety first. So, and before you leave your house, we're going to make sure you bring water and ice, especially as it's starting to get a little bit hotter. So maybe a hydro flask or a big jug of water would be ideal. Make sure you have your sunscreen on. We're not going to have water jugs in the center of the courts anymore. There's also not going to be any benches. So if you want to bring a chair to sit on, bring a chair from your house that folds up that you can safely transport back and forth, please do that. Bug spray if you need it, bring it, and you're going to need a can of balls, and your opponent's going to need a can of balls, as well as your sanitizer wipes and your mask if you would like. You don't have to play with a mask on, but it's optional. So if you feel like you need to or you want to, that's perfectly fine. All right, so we're going over some things. We want to play some tennis today. Number one rule, if we're not feeling well, we're going to stay home, okay? If you've come in contact with somebody in the last couple of weeks that has COVID, we're staying home, okay? But we're feeling good. There's a few things you need to make sure you bring from your house before you come to Overbrook, okay? Because things are a little bit different, okay? First thing is we're going to need some water, okay? So this little guy here, he might get warm, so we might need a little bit bigger of an item, like a hydro flask, or if you have one of these like big jugs at home, then you can go with that. Put some ice in here, fill it up with water, so you're good for your whole match, okay? Something else you want to make sure that you bring is sunscreen, okay? And put it on at home, and then make sure you bring it if you have to reapply it. We will not have sunscreen. We will also not have the water on the courts anymore. That's why we got to bring our own water, okay? And then for those of you who are affected by the flies and the gnats sometimes that come out in the summer at Overbrook, you can also bring some bug spray or put some bug spray on, okay? Little backwoods cutter, okay? And then please don't forget your hand sanitizer and your wipes if you want. We are going to have them at Overbrook. We will have Purell stations outside of all the courts, paddle courts and the tennis courts, as well as in the pergola and in the shed where the ball machine is going to be kept. We're going to have these sanitizing wipes, and we will also have Purell hand sanitizer. So we encourage you guys to use that as often as you feel like you need to, okay? The other thing you're going to want to bring is your US Open towel, okay, or just a towel, okay? And we will not be providing towels at this time at the club, okay? So make sure you bring a sweat towel, as it's going to get hotter as we go, okay? And also, if you want to sit down on the courts, there will not be benches, so you need to make sure, bring one of your folding chairs that you watch the kids' sports events with. Throw it in your car, bring it out on the court, set it up. Just make sure you're away from your opponent, and it's another good thing to remember, okay? And then the last thing, as we get started to play a match, we're going to need 2 cans of tennis balls, okay? I'm going to have a can, and my opponent's going to have a can. The numbers on the cans need to be different. If anyone struggles with eyesight, because those are small number 2s and 3s on these balls, and you want to bring a Sharpie, you can draw a design or just make a mark on your can of balls so you know they're yours, okay? And the reason we're going to do this is I'm going to serve with my can of balls, and my opponent, which is Oliver today, is going to serve with his cannonballs, okay? And we're going to go over how to safely retrieve your opponent's balls on your side of the court and get them back to you or to them, okay? Where you come, or when you arrive at Overbrook, we will have balls that you can sign out under the pergola and then right outside the pro shop like we always have. And you can sign them out, and you're going to want to make sure you get a different number than your partner that you're playing with today. Okay, so I'm going to open up my can. These are number 3s. Okay, Wilson US Open 3. Okay, so these are going to be my balls, and I'm going to serve with those balls. Okay, the entire match. Now, if you're opening your partner's can, just make sure you don't touch the balls. And you can just roll them over. And those are number 2s. Okay? Alright, we're going to show you a few different ways you can get the tennis balls up off the court and ready to transfer over to your opponent without touching them with your hand. Okay? So, first one, we can bounce the ball up, and then, have it on our racket, and then, get a little bit closer and then do a bounce and a hit. You can use the edge of the racket. This one's maybe take a little more practice, and then bounce it up. Catch it on your racket, and then bounce and hit it over. A lot of people like this one. You use, you put the ball between your heel and the middle of your foot. Hold the racket up pretty firm against your foot and bring both up at the same time. Bounce once, then catch it on your racket, or just do that and hit it back over to your opponent. You can also do the scoop the ball up from the ground. If you want to try flicking it over, you can do that. Just be careful that nobody's playing on the next court over and do one of these guys. See, it doesn't really work too well, so maybe you don't want to do that. Okay? Let's try that again. Okay? Or you can just roll the ball up to the net. Okay? Okay, this is my opponent's ball, and I need to get it back to him. I can just roll it right up to the net with my racket or my foot, and then the opponent could be on the other side, and they can lift the net up or reach over and get the ball themselves. Alright, so after the match ends, after I just missed that ball like 6 feet long, because I haven't played in a long time, we're going to go up, and instead of shaking hands, you go to the service line or halfway between the service line and the net, say nice match to your opponent, and then we're going to walk off. And what we recommend you guys doing when you walk off is immediately going to your hand sanitizer or sanitizer wipes, okay? And taking care of your hands, and if you want to wipe down your grip, that's fine, but not necessary, but you can, and just so you feel good. And then you can get all your stuff together, knowing that you have clean hands, get your gear together, and then safely, one at a time, exit the gates. The gates will be open, so you don't have to worry about touching the gates. The gates are going to be open all the time, okay? And it's a play and go policy for the first phase. So you're gonna play, and then we're gonna go. There's no congregating. There won't be tables and chairs They're going to be roped off for the time being. So come and play, and we're going to go. If you need to use the bathrooms will be open on the downstairs level. So the side door by paddle court number 3 will be open. You can use the restrooms, also the first aid kit and the defibrillator. Hopefully we won't need it. That's going to be accessible as well. Okay, but the pro shop will be closed. The upstairs to the hut is going to be closed, and that's it. All right, and for all you doubles players, I know some of you are wanting to play some doubles right now, but we're going to give you a few drills that can be very effective in working on your consistency for doubles while you're just drilling with one other person. First one we're going to do is volley to volley, and then we're going to do volley to ground stroke, and then we're going to do ground stroke to ground stroke, and then you can flip it up. You know, have the other person come up for the volleys, the other person go back for ground strokes, and then also switch the sides. So you can go from the do side to the ad side and vice versa. Get a great workout in an hour to hour and a half.